Howdy. So, we just finished Easter. It was great to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The difficulty is that we're still in the middle of this current pandemic. And we don't really know exactly what is going to happen or how quickly. Now, with that though, we had a 40-day period of Lenten season to help us prepare and focus on Easter. But now we're facing a time after Easter, potentially 7 weeks, where we will not be able to live into the fullness of our joy and we're going to still feel, in a sense, trapped. So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to offer a 7-week series. In this series, what we will be doing is we will look at what it is to truly be human in the sense that God has created us. The thing is that even as we were created by God, saved by His Son, and empowered by His Spirit, it is not just to say the message of salvation, but to live into it, to be transformed, to be new. So for this first week, what we're going to look at is what it means to grow in mind, body, and soul. For our minds, for our bodies, our physical beings, our mental processes, and our spiritual beings to be strengthened, renewed, built up in ways that reflect what it is that God has designed for us. Now, to help us focus on this, I'd like for each day to be another opportunity to focus, to meditate, to concentrate on what this means. 1 Corinthians 12, starting with verse 4, says, "Now there are varieties of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are varieties of service, but the same Lord. There are varieties of activities, but it is the same God who empowers them all in everyone. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. To one is given through the Spirit the utterance of wisdom, and to another the utterance of knowledge according to the same Spirit. To another faith by the same Spirit. To another gifts of healing by the one Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another the ability to distinguish between spirits, to another various kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. All these are empowered by one and the same Spirit, who apportions to each one individually as He wills." So what we want to do is we want to spend this week looking at what it means for each of us to be unique, the fact that each of us has different strengths, different gifts, different perspectives, different ways of being, and yet, being one body in the church, we can encourage each other, we can strengthen each other, we can work alongside each other. We can empower each other to be who we're meant to be, and we can strengthen each other in mind, body, and spirit. So with this, what I hope for you to do with today's focus is to ask, what are some of the strengths and some of the perspectives that you have seen that God has given you? If you're asking, what is it that God desires of me? We also have to ask the question, what is it that God has strengthened us with? What gifts, what talents has He given us? So this week we're going to talk a bit about how we can focus on that, how we can strengthen one another, and how we can utilize that not just to live the lives we're meant to live, but to further the kingdom of God.